Characters, Stephen, a square peg in his late 20s. Looking at him, one would immediately believe he has absolutely nothing to hide. Millie's roommate. Darcy, a wannabe guru, early 20s, believes she can see and communicate with the dead. Scene, an apartment in a city. 20-somethings on the cusp of adulthood inhabit the space. Lights up in the apartment, early morning. Sounds of people approaching the front door. Keys jingle, muffled speech. Stephen and Darcy enter.
She looked so blue and cold. It must have been horrible for her. The way her eyes were just glazed over, the room was cold. I hate that word. Morgue. She looked, just so... She looked. She was...
Lifeless?
Yeah.
Well, she was dead. Is dead.
She was always such a careful driver, I thought.
Well, I knew this was going to happen. I predicted it.
I still don't understand how you were there or what really happened. Who exactly are you again?
Like I explained to you at the hospital several times, I received an inclination. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. A knowing that I had to be at the downtown hospital emergency room, second door to the left past reception, because someone needed me, somebody who was passing on.
That sounds insane.
I was there because I knew, and you were there because you had to identify the body.
What did you do, Danny?
I knew. There, she was going to die. And my name is Darcy, not Danny Stephen.
I had Danielle in my head.
But I also knew something else. Something no one else does. That she is going to come back.
But I don't understand. She's dead.
Yes.
How can you be so cruel?
Yes, she's dead. On this plane. But I have a spiritual connection. If you'll only let me, I can commune Millie's last wishes to you, her unfinished business, and anything you want to express to her.
Still not sure why I let you in here. This was a mistake. A rash decision in the face of a misfortune.
Look, I know you're probably some skeptic guy who thinks this is a lot of horseshit. You dress too neat to believe in the undead. But I assure you, I'm the real thing. I knew she was going to have an accident. I knew which hospital she'd wind up in, her room. I even knew her fucking name. I also knew she wasn't going to make it, and there were things she wanted to say that she didn't get to. Just like there are things that you wanted to say that you didn't get to. And there's a reason why all of this is happening. It's not just some cosmic karma. This is fate, Stephen. Destiny is holding out her hand. Are you going to slap it away?
How does this work?
All right. I have all the materials with me. Psychic death root, beads of the departed, rose hips, and I have purifying powder. I'll use this first. This is going to be so great. Aha, got it.
How does this work?
Don't touch my tools.
Purifying powder?
Don't touch my tools.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I snapped at you. It's just this is my first real sighting, and I'm kind of nervous. So I want everything to go perfectly.
You haven't done this before?
What?
You said this was your first real sighting. You haven't sighted before this?
Okay, man. Just hold on, okay? Just listen for a second. You don't understand how all of this works. I've been in correspondence with Dr. Annette Sasu.
Who?
Dr. Annette Sasu, the psycho-spiritual medium of spiritual counselor, author of Psychic Powers Made Easy, and like #1 on the Psychic Reads Best list.
Sorry I don't keep up with that.
God! I've been working for her for 5 years now. It all started when I answered her ad on Craigslist looking for volunteers for a research study. I always knew I had the gift. My mom died when I was really young, 4 years old, and so I don't really remember her all that well, but I would get these feelings sometimes. It would be like a cold breeze blowing across my face or tingling in my spine. she was still here trying to reach me. I mean, my family pretty much thought I was crazy the entire time, but no one was going to convince me that I was wrong. My whole life, it was more than anything. I wanted to know she was there, or that she was there, or something. I explained all of this to Dr. Sassu in a preliminary interview, and she was very receptive. She said I might actually be able to commune with her. She explained I had a special device in my brain pattern that allows me to access another plane of existence. It's called a metaphysical, enigmatic, sterile, sensory, aggravated gene expedient, or what the pros call it, an MESSAGE.
A message?
Yes! I can send and receive them.
I don't believe this.
Dr. Sassu says there will always be skeptics, but she is famous for her mantra, death is but a door, time is but a window, I'll be back. Isn't that beautiful? It's like we're all connected, even among the spiritual planes.
I think that's a line from Ghostbusters 2.
I'm pretty sure that it's not. I think it's a famous mantra from a famous psycho-spiritualist.
Yeah, the psycho part is right, and that mantra doesn't even make sense. It's from Ghostbusters. That line is something that weird evil guy in the painting said. He's coming back. I mean, I'll be back. Is Dr. Sassu dead? Is she the Terminator? I don't get it.
No, you don't get it, do you?
Darcy crosses to the center of the room and stands clutching the canister of purifying powder. She closes her eyes and begins to spin in a circle, slowly at first and then gaining speed, all the while chanting tribal incantations mixed with bird calls. At the peak of her ritual, she comes to a halt, opens her eyes, inhales, and then exhales deeply. She then begins to circle the room, tossing the purifying powder in the air as she goes.
She wants us to channel her energy. If she stayed behind, it's for a purpose we have to discover.
Throws one last large handful of powder into the air.
What does this stuff do?
This stuff, purifying powder, enables mortals to see past the third dimension into the fourth. It allows us to see her, where she is, what she's doing, why she's here, and how she will move on.
To be continued.